We're used to Bollywood influencing our morals, fashion and language, but now a section of the Hindi film industry has made an appeal to influence the way we vote. Is this going one step too far, or is it both legitimate and justified? With me to debate this development is the famous Bollywood star Anupam Kher and the man who made him famous, the well-known director Mahesh Bhatt. Mahesh Bhatt, some of your colleagues in the Hindi film industry have issued an appeal to vote for a secular party. The appeal says, the need of the hour is to protect our country's secular foundations. We appeal to you to vote for the secular party which is most likely to win in your constituency. Now, you've endorsed this appeal, but why was this appeal necessary in the first place?
It was a spontaneous gesture on the part of one of our colleagues called Anjum Rajabali. He sent me a mail through his assistant and asked me whether I was willing to put my signature to a document like this. Now, what's very important, Karan, that this particular group has individuals who have inclinations towards different kind of political parties. Saeed Mirza is a leftist. Hansal Mehta has his allegiance to the Aam Aadmi Party. I have, in spite of the inadequacies that the Congress has shown, have chosen to root for the Congress because of what I think is their core ideology, which is not the asset of the Congress party, but the asset of the Indian nation. Okay. And I think this diverse group got together, realizing fully that there is an equally there's another view of the film industry like Anupam Kher, Ashok Pandit and Madhur Bhandarkar, which is completely at loggerheads with this view. But that's the beauty of the democratic space in which we live. This is what plurality is all about, and we were only articulating the fight for this. That's all.
You know, Anupam Kher, the truth is the appeal doesn't talk about any one specific party, but is it absolutely crystal clear that what is really saying is BJP, don't vote for Narendra Modi? And do you find that, even if it's not a named thing, offensive?
Well, I think Mr. Bhatt has put it, Bhatt Sahab has put it very beautifully, that everybody has a right to their own opinions. But I felt that this particular appeal was sent to various people, and I'm sure some of the people did not even think that this is going to be a little a snowball into some kind of a television debate. I just felt that they took it for granted, but that there is a certain kind of secularism. Some people are secularist and some people are not secularist. I would have very happy if they had named who they are saying they are not secular. I would have been very happy if they would have said that, okay, this is a debate from, or this is a plea from a Congress party, because they were presuming that people who are with Congress are secular and people who are not with Congress are not secular.
Have you heard that,
so my point was that I will.
Sorry, finish off. Please finish off.
No, I asked.
Yeah, I was saying that I would have really respected them if they had the guts to sort of say that yes, we feel that Congress is a secular party, BJP or Narendra Modi is not a secular person, so don't vote for him. But to sort of get into inverted commas and sort of say that, and then get 20 people to write a letter, I thought that was a little too much.
Let me put that to Mahesh, but what you're being told is that it would have been more honest, it would have been definitely preferable if you'd actually said, don't vote for BJP, don't vote for Narendra Modi. Your silence on that suggests not just a certain subterfuge, but it also suggests you've been put up to this by a party like Congress, as Anupam is suggesting, that you should have been more honest, you haven't had the courage of your convictions.
No, I think Anupam has got a point. Since this document was drafted by a group of people which, as I said, did not have their allegiance to one political party, and were in agreement. For example, as I said in the very beginning, a man like Saeed has a left leaning. He roots for a left party. Hansal for Aam Aadmi. And I have unabashedly, even way back in 1998, locked horns with the right-wing Hindutva party, which is, according to me, the threat to the idea of plurality of India. And I have gone and canvassed for the Congress, so I'm very clear. I am very clear. As long as Narendra Modi's apron strings are tied to the RSS, which believes in the Hindu Rashtra, and he is the face of the BJP, I am clearly opposed to him because it endangers
Okay.
the whole the ideas of India, not one idea, the ideas of India, which talks about our plurality and the need for everybody to live in harmony. You
Okay.
require a referee who is perceived by us as a person who doesn't have a communal bias.
Le- le-
and
le-
unfortunately, he hasn't done enough to dismiss my fears.
Let me put that to Anupam Kher, because now Anupam Kher, what you've done is to provoke and prize out of Mahesh Bhatt the most explicit, specific criticism, if not denunciation, of one man, Narendra Modi. And you've heard that he actually threatens the idea of India. Therefore, there's no doubt, this is clearly, specifically directed, not even at the BJP, but at one man. How do you respond to that specific focus?
Well, I have great respect, Mr. Bhatt, and I respect his opinion. But I think people who want to oppose Narendra Modi have no other issue than to bring secularism again and again. They cannot fight for his development thing, they cannot fight for other things, administration, they cannot fight about it. So they want to keep this issue of secularism alive because that is the only weapon they use. Because we don't remember partition where millions of people died. We don't remember so many Sikh riots where thousands of Sardars Sikhs were killed by Congress. We don't remember, but we want to keep 2002 alive because that is the only criticism they can have against Narendra Modi. We don't remember Muzaffarpur riots. What about Muzaffarnagar riots? What about 93 blasts? I think, and what about in the last 11 years, there are no blasts, no riots happened in Gujarat. So I think the weapon that the Congress wants to use and people of supporter of Congress want to use is the riots, but they want to deny him. We had people like Gowda as the Prime Minister of the country. We have people of Chandrasekhar or something, so many people. I think allow the person to become the Prime Minister rather than fight against one point, which is secularism. I said it yesterday in a debate that nationalism is much more important than secularism. And this is the time to give a possibility, a chance to Narendra Modi.
Let me put it like this, Mahesh Bhatt. What you're really being told is that you're putting far too much emphasis on secularism and far too much emphasis on something that happened 12 years ago in 2002. You're forgetting in the process that for 12 years there have been no communal riots in Gujarat, possibly the longest time that state has been without communal trouble. Shouldn't you be giving Mr. Modi credit for ensuring communal peace rather than holding against him something that happened 12 years ago when, admittedly, he'd only been chief minister for 4 months and therefore was inexperienced as well? Are you not giving too much emphasis to 2002?
Karan, I would hate this debate to be reduced to a Congress BJP debate. And I said very, very simply that as long as Mr. Narendra Modi has his umbilical cord connected with the RSS, which has repeatedly articulated the idea of Hindutva, which says that this nation belongs to those who are in the majority, I am opposed to him. And since he is the head of the BJP, the face of the BJP, I'm opposed to Narendra Modi because he has not de-linked himself from that idea.
Can I interrupt?
Now, coming to Mr. Modi himself.
Can I
yes.
interrupt? Is it in fact what you call the umbilical cord to the RSS that makes you so wary of Mr. Modi? Because if it is, are you not forgetting?
Yes, exactly.
But are you not then forgetting that Mr. Modi actually kept the RSS at more than arm's distance for 12 years when he was chief minister? Praveen Togadia was actually angry with Mr. Modi. The RSS themselves were wary of Mr. Modi. It's only now that the RSS has embraced him because they believe he's a winner and they're actually piggyback riding on him.
Karan, I may, with folded hands and bended knees, I ask Mr. Narendra Modi a question. Then why put it in your manifesto that India will be a safe haven only for the persecuted Hindus? What about the Buddhists who were given sanctuary? The Dalai Lama was here when he was persecuted there in Tibet. What about the Muslims who are being massacred in Myanmar? I think we should have said gracefully that anybody who's persecuted will be welcomed in this country. That was the glory. The Parsis came into this country and we welcomed them. As long as you keep on putting these kind of suggestions in your manifesto, all your talk of development is reduced to just a fig leaf. All I'm saying is, I know Mr. Modi in 2003, hear me out. In 2003, yes, Mr. Narendra Modi called me He himself called me and said he was interested in resolving the problems of the displaced Muslims who were ravaged by the riots. And that was because the Jamiat was crusading for the cause, and he was graceful enough to offer all the support. But the tragedy was that the NGO which was pleading for the cause did not embrace that cause. So yes, I think he has demonstrated that there was remorse in him, to me personally, but there were also instances where Fana was banned in Gujarat. Anupam Kher is a witness that when my son was allegedly accused of having links with David Headley, my movie was pulled out, and I begged to Anupam Kher, do something and talk to Mr. Modi. I am being made a victim because I have opposed the right-wing politics. I know of innumerable journalists who have been at the receiving end. So if the world is not a static place, I know people change. But I'm asking that I want a referee who will look at the whole landscape without any biases. A PM, a Prime Minister, even in a cricket match, we want a fair referee.
Let me stop you, Mahesh Bhatt. I want Anupam Kher to come in and respond to that, because there was a personal section that was specifically voiced to him in the middle. Let me put it like this, Anupam Kher. What you're hearing is a certain inner conflict inside Mahesh Bhatt. At one level, he acknowledges that Mr. Modi has himself personally expressed remorse to him. At another level, he's upset by the way he and his son were treated and his movie were treated. At a third level, he's worried that the umbilical cord to the RSS makes Mr. Modi a very dangerous man. How do you respond to that combination of emotions and opinions which are clearly disturbing Mahesh Bhatt?
I think Bhatt Sahab maybe is wanting to keep this wound alive of being a victim of Narendra Modi's policies or something like that, because maybe he sides with Congress and Congress does not allow him to keep to heal that wound. One thing. Number two, a victim, Rahul is like my child, Rahul Bhatt, Mr. Bhatt's son, was connected with rumored, and it pained me equally. But if we are talking about being victims, then I think Kashmiri Pandits are the biggest victims of this century, who have been thrown out of their Kashmir and are refugees and living like refugees all over the country. They have been thrown out by the extremists, by the terrorists. They have been butchered. Their women have been raped. And as a victim, then I think I'm a much bigger victim than Mr. Mahesh Bhatt is. Mr. Mahesh Bhatt has a grouse against Mr. Narendra Modi that his film could not get released. That's fine. After that, he has made many films. But what about my relatives? What about my grandparents? What about my house? What about my uncles?
Even Fana was not released.
No, I'm saying that Mr. Bhatt Sahab, I'm saying that your feeling victim is related to a film. And your son,
I'm not
Sunny,
victim.
being sort of.
I'm saying that he has to
but
demonstrate.
You said I'm a victim of this. What about the victim of Kashmir, Kashmiri Pandits all over the place?
Can I, before I go to Mr. Bhatt,
but you yourself said that he did demonstrate. Why don't you allow people to sort of? What about people in Congress? Do you agree with all of them? I'm sure there are so many people who make amazing statements, disturbing statements, who say all kinds of things. There are so many people in BJP. There are so many people in other parties who say wonderful things and so bad things. Why is this allergy towards Narendra Modi alone? Allow him to make amendments. I heard his interview yesterday where he said, I am going to Banaras and I'm sure the Muslim community is going to forgive me and embrace me. I think people in Gujarat are coming forward and saying that we are very happy in Narendra Modi's Gujarat.
You know, what you're hearing, Mahesh Bhatt, is an appeal, again, a very personal appeal from someone who knows you well and treats your son as his own son, that you need to be more understanding, that you need to give Narendra Modi a chance to, if not reform, prove that he meant that note of remorse when he spoke to you. Rather than be suspicious, you need to be more open. That's what he's saying. And he's saying also, don't polarize the film industry by taking a political stand where one perhaps is not necessary.
I don't have to polarize the film industry. The nation's views are polarized, and film industry is part of the nation. Now, coming to the point, I'm not playing the victim. I'm not talking only about my son, who was rumored to have links with Headley, and my movie was pulled out. And Anupam Kher, with all his proximity to Mr. Narendra Modi, could do nothing when I was just a helpless person. The other thing, even Fana was thrown out.
Has that upset you? Is that in a sense the motivation that you were personally attacked and not helped?
No, that is not. In fact, of late, recently.
But Sahab, I did not deliberately not help Sunny. That's not a very fair thing to say.
Let me finish. I said, in fact, let me put it on record.
Okay, Batsab.
Latest film of my daughter, Jism, which was having problem. It was because of the intervention of Mr. Narendra Modi that it had a free run in Gujarat. So I applaud him. And yesterday, when he kind of kickstarted Urdu website with Salim Saab, I think that was a very, very brave move. I pat him on his back for throwing out the Togadias and the right wingers out of Gujarat. But all I'm asking you.
Let me intervene. I don't want to get lost in.
I am saying very simply.
Carry on very quickly. Finish that.
Okay. All I'm saying is, as long as Mr. Narendra Modi does not de-link himself from that core idea of Hindutva, I will suspect him. I know people change.
Okay.
I believe in the Gandhian construct of not looking at people as the enemy. There is no construct of the enemy in the Gandhian thought, and I pride myself coming from a home where Gandhi was a deity in my home. All I'm asking him, Mr. Yeah,
all you're asking is de-link from the RSS, and I want to put that to Anupam Kher. Anupam Kher, do you accept that Hindutva and the RSS so color the background from which Mr. Modi comes? Possibly so color his thinking that all his talk of development and governance, which is how he's presenting himself, gets vitiated. Do you share any of that concern from Mr. Bhatt that it's the RSS umbilical cord Hindutva that makes Modi dangerous?
No, I think that's an appeal that Mr. Bhatt has to make to Narendra Modi, and Narendra Modi has to reply to that. But I want to ask Mr. Bhatt, will he hold me that I'm not secular if I say I'm a Hindu and I'm proud to be a Hindu? Is that something wrong in saying that?
Do you want to answer that, Mahesh Bhatt?
No, my father was a Hindu and a proud Hindu, and he wore a janoi, and he, in spite of not being married to my mother, was more devoted to her than any husband who takes those marriage vows. So I do not believe in tokenism. I do not think that Anupam Kher is not secular. I know that there are people in the Congress party, in the secular party, who are more communal, and I know there are more secular people in the so-called right-wing parties. I know that.
I want Anupam Kher to respond to what he heard in answer to his question. Does that satisfy you that Mr. Bhatt is prepared for you to say I'm a Hindu and I'm proud to be Hindu and still be secular?
Yes, of course. No. I don't question Mr. Bhatt is questioning me as ever. I think Mr. Bhatt knows me much more than that. No, my only point is, and my only, again and same thing is that allow the person to function.
All right.
Allow the faith to come in. Don't put conditions. If you have not put conditions to any of the leaders of Congress, why are you putting conditions to somebody else?
All right, gentlemen,
he has not made any hate speech in the last so many years.
Let's broaden this discussion. We've gone on about Mr. Modi, which is certainly the core issue that concerns Mr. Bhatt. It's clearly the core issue that Mr. Kher is responding to, but I want to broaden it because at the end of the day, both of you represent a film industry. That film industry is very important to Indians, and I want to put this to you, Mahesh Bhatt. By issuing what is clearly an emotional appeal, you run the danger of turning many fans against you. After all, many of your fans are admirers of Mr. Modi. Many of them are BJP voters. Now you're appealing to them on anti-Modi, anti-BJP grounds. Is there not a danger this will affect the way they view you, your films, your actors? Are you not endangering the relationship that's so critical to your success as a professional?
That's exactly the fear which is holding my fraternity back. I know what they say privately. And if that fear is there, then it is for him, Mr. Narendra Modi, to dispel that fear in the hearts of his dissenters. Because
very quickly, what does he need to do to dispel that fear? No, hang on. Give me a specific thing he needs to do to dispel that fear in the hearts of your fraternity.
Not my fraternity. My fraternity has only gone on records begging people to vote, but they won't say whom to vote. There's
answer
50,
my
60
question.
people have
What
come
is
out.
it that Modi needs to do to dispel the fear in the film community?
He needs to come and tell me, even if you disagree with me, I will fight for your right to say things against me and protect you from the brute forces within my own faction who will see you anti-me and thereby reprimand me.
You know, hidden in that answer, Anupam Kher, was a point that Mr. Bhatt began with when he said that actually the film community agrees with my concerns, but they're only silent and they're not signing on because they're worried they'll offend their fans. Therefore, commercial interests are actually holding them back from taking a principled position.
With all due respect, I don't agree with Mr. Bhatt. I think that's an imaginary fear. Then I will say that a lot of people are not coming against Congress because they fear that the income tax raids and other raids will take place. I think then I should be fearing that because I'm for Mr. Narendra Modi, just one sec, Bhatt, just one sec. Then I think I should be fearing that because I'm siding with Narendra Modi, or I believe in Narendra Modi, then all those people who have signed this petition, including you, will not take me in their films because I am siding with him. I don't think that's true. I have not worked with you, Bhatsa, for the last 20 years, but day before yesterday when I met you, we were talking about, so I think the fear is always imaginary.
Okay.
Fear is never of real. If Mr. Modi wants to tell, if you think, I think if a film industry delegation goes to Mr. Modi and says that we are with you or we are not with you, but we have the right to disagree with you, I'm sure he's not going to say, no, I don't think that's true. So I think imaginary fear is much more dangerous than real fear.
Ms. Mahesh Bhatt, let me point out something. You probably know this a lot better than me. Your brother Mukesh, the president of the Film and Television Guild, has said that the industry is apolitical and this letter, which he says can sway people, should not have been sent out. So the division or the fear is actually present in your own immediate family. Are you saying that your brother is not agreeing with you because your brother is scared of the commercial cost? Because that's implicit in the argument you made earlier.
No, I think No, my brother has genuinely an inclination towards the BJP, and he has spelt it out, and so does my nephew. So I think that is the beauty of the family. That's the nation is like a family. If Anupam Kher, when Krerang Kher was standing for elections, I said I fiercely disagree with you of politics of a party, but I know that you will protect the rights even of your dissenters. So I think that is what we should do. But since you're asking me about Mr. Modi, let me categorically say, I know people change, but he has not done enough to dispel the fears that are there. And if you discuss, if I mention my fears and you call them paranoia or these are imaginary fears, then even if they're imaginary, the leadership owes it to that frightened section to deal with the fears.
I don't want to go back to Mr. Modi. I want to stick to, in fact, the personal relationship between the two of you, because something that I haven't forgotten and the viewers are aware of even more than me is that Anupam Kher feels an immense loyalty to you.
I want to tell you, Karan, something very interesting.
I just want to point this out. You feel an immense loyalty to Mahesh Bhatt. He's the one who made you famous.
I have learned to be fearless, ironically, from Mr. Mahesh Bhatt. Mahesh Bhatt, in his first film, taught me to be fearless. And that became a quality for the rest of my life. And I will always thank Mr. Bhatt for it. In fact, in my play, when I paid tribute to various people, Mr. Bhatt last year told me that I don't think you say it with a lot of dil, but I say it with a lot of dil, and let me repeat those lines. If life is a battlefield of Kurukshetra and me the questioning Arjun, Mahesh Bhatt is my Krishna. And he will always remain like that. But I'll still have the right to disagree with him.
Very, very quickly, one question to both of you, the same question. I want a short, sharp answer because we're right out of time. First, you, Anupam Kher, will this difference on a key issue like Modi and politics spoil the relationship with Mahesh Bhatt? A quick answer.
I think I'm optimistic. I'm a born optimist. I'm an eternal optimist. I think if Mr. Mahesh Bhatt approaches Mr. Modi will give him a very warm hug.
Will it spoil your relationship with Mahesh? Will it spoil your relationship with Mahesh Bhatt? The fact that both of you are on different sides of this emotional political fence, will it spoil?
No, not at all. I'm too sure of my love for Mr. Mahesh Bhatt, and Mr. Mahesh Bhatt is too sure of his love and my devotion to him.
Do you want to reciprocate Mahesh Bhatt very quickly?
I'm thankful to him, and
Does he remain still a favorite friend and a favorite actor?
I think, Karan, if we two are the two faces of what is going through the heart of the nation, then with all our differences, we still love each other.
You aren't answering my
And that's the
question.
way it
Is
should
your
be. We may have
relationship with
diverse
Anupam
views.
Kher intact or has it suffered a knock? A quick answer to that.
Let me give you a pointed answer. After this interview, I love him more for taking me on.
All right, that's wonderful. For once, journalists end the show creating love rather than enmity, and I'm delighted with that, and I am glad to get that acknowledgement from Anupam Kher as well, and that smile from Mahesh Bhatt. There we end this particular episode, and if you have been watching, thanks indeed. See you tomorrow. Good night.